Dear student, in this video lecture, we discuss about the percolation tanks as well as the microcatchment system. So, the percolation tank are mostly earthen dams with masonry structures. So, these structures are mainly constructed with the masonry materials, where the purpose of this is to recharge the groundwater. These are most prevalent structures in India as a measure of recharge the groundwater reservoir both in alluvial as well as hard rock formations. So this can be constructed in alluvial soil as well as the hard rock formations in order to recharge the groundwater. Percolation tanks is an artificially created surface water body. Since it will be in a highly permeable land, surface runoff made to percolate and recharge the groundwater storage. Means the storage structure will be built and the runoff water will be allowed to flow into the storage structure, by which the groundwater gets recharged. It should be constructed preferably on second to third order stream located on highly fractured and weather rocks for speedy recharge. Means if we want the groundwater to recharge fast, so this type of structure should be constructed on the different fractures which are present in the earth surface as well as the weathered rock, so that the recharge can be easily done. The size of the percolation tank should be governed by the percolation capacity of the strata in the tank bed rather than yield of the catchment. So depending upon the capacity or the type of rocks present in a particular area, the percolation capacity will be changing. Detailed analysis of following parameters are necessary to demarcate suitable percolation tank sites. That is, there are some of the parameters which are to be considered during the demarcation of the percolation tank. First one is rainfall pattern. So depending upon the rainfall intensity, we will be deciding this percolation tank. Second one is number of rainy days. Means for how many days the water or the rainfall will be occurring is also important. The next is dry spells. That means the spelling out of the catchment area, how much of water will be dried up. Next is evaporation rate, that is the rate of evaporation. Next is detailed hydrological studies. So these are all some of the parameters which are very necessary to consider before we go for the construction of the percolation tanks. Next we will look into the design of percolation tank. So the capacity of the percolation tank has to be calculated on the basis of the rainfall and catchment area of the tank. Means depending upon the rainfall and the catchment size area of this catchment, the infiltration rate or the percolation rate will be vary. So there is a procedure to design this, and it is as follow. First is select the site for the percolation tank. Means the site selection has to be done. From the topo sheet, find out the correct catchment area of the watershed at that location. So depending upon the geomorphology, we will decide the place where we can easily construct the catchment area. Third is compute catchment yield from rainfall and runoff coefficient. Means the catchment yield, how much yield it will be giving will be calculated from the particular area depending upon the rainfall and runoff coefficient. So this is the procedure how we select the design, or the design of the percolation tank can be decided. Next, good catchment. If we say that a catchment is good, it should consist of hills or plains with little cultivation and moderately absorbent soil. That is, the soil capacity should be very good so that it absorbs the water, and it may be a hilly or a plain surface. Average catchment: flat, partially cultivated, stiff gravel or sandy absorbent soil. It is average catchment only if a partial cultivated land is there where the gravel and the sand particles are present. Bad catchment: flat and cultivated sandy soils where the catchment area will not be preferred to store the water. Next, fourth procedure is make suitable assumptions such as number of fillings per year, utilization of yield per filling, etc. Hence compute the capacity of percolation tank. So depending upon the inflow and the recharge, we will be deciding the capacity of the particular catchment, how much it can be recharged. So some assumptions will be followed. Next is development of storage capacity curve or table. Draw the contour lines at every 50 centimeter interval between the bed level and the highest ground level at the site. From these contour lines, the capacity of the tank of 0.5, 1.5, 2 meter height above the bed level is calculated. So this is how we calculate the storage capacity, where we derive the curve or a table. Next is compute full tank level from storage structure. Next is compute top width of embankment, that is it can be derived by W is equal to H by 5 plus 1.5, where W is equal to top width of embankment, H is equal to total height of embankment. So the width of embankment should be calculated. Next is compute length of embankment. Length of the embankment is the distance between the points where the height intersects the contour having same elevation. So this length can be easily calculated by measuring the distance between the points where the height intersects the contour having the same elevations. Next 10th is based upon the type of material, assign suitable side slope for embankments. So for the construction of the embankments, we can depending upon the material, we will be designing the slope, how much it has to be done. Next is compute peak discharge, compute length of spillway. Next, compute width of horizontal floor, the flat surface of the floor where the percolation has to be done. Next is check the stability of the structure by locating the saturation line on the base. So these are all some of the procedures which are to be followed before going for the construction tank. So the diagram shows you the percolation tank where the embankment is constructed and then the water is made to percolate into this structure. So this is about the topic called as the percolation tank. Next, coming to the another topic called as micro catchment system. As the name itself indicates, the micro means small catchment system. Micro catchment water harvesting is a method of collecting surface runoff from a small catchment area and storing it in the root zone of an adjacent infiltration basin. So what they'll do is they'll make the catchment area and they'll provide it, and the water will be stored through the plants which are there nearby. This infiltration basin may be planted with a single tree, bush or with annual crops. So for this we can easily grow some of the plants or some of the bushes. The use of micro catchment as a water harvesting method greatly increases crop productivity and have been used for thousands of years. So this is the traditional method where the micro catchment is used. Next, coming to the technical characteristics, overland flow harvested from short catchment length. So the water which is overflowed, it can be used. Catchment length usually between 1 and 30 meter. Runoff is stored in soil profile. Ratio of catchment area to cultivated area is usually 1:1 to 3:1. Means the catchment area is 1:1 and the cultivated land is 3:1. There is no provision for overflow, that is the water cannot be wasted here. So the diagram shows the micro catchment unit. A shows the micro catchment unit and B shows the cultivated areas. That is through the micro catchment the infiltration will be done, and by that the water will be stored and it can penetrate into the ground surface by the roots. Next, coming to the benefits of this micro catchment area. So this increase in crop yield and reliability, that is the water will be always stored in the soil so that the yield will be high. Second is allow plants to grow in otherwise unsustainable conditions. Even though during the unavailability of the water, the soil moisture provides the good water facility for the plants to grow. Third is cheaper than installing expensive irrigation system. Means it is cheaper to install compared to the large irrigation system. Fourth is erosion control function. As I have told you, if the soil is in a moisture condition, the erosion is very less. So the water will not simply flow where it is completely infiltrated, and hence it controls the erosion. Fifth is can be constructed on almost any slope, include level plains. So it can be constructed at any sloper region, even in the plain areas. Next is simple design and cheap to install and adaptable. It can be used by any of the farmers where it is easy to install and it is cheaper. So these are all some of the benefits of the micro catchments. Next, coming to the limitations, it requires deep soil at least 1.5 to 2 meter in cultivated area to store water between rainfall, require at least 80 millimeter of precipitation for per rainy season. So if the rainfall is good, then only the rate of percolation is more. Second is if the season occurs during the cold season and require more than 80 millimeter. If the rainfall is less than 80 millimeter, then during the cold season it should be exceeding the 80 millimeter. If rains occurs during the summer due to greater evaporation, soil in the catchment area must be crust forming or impermeable soils in the cultivated area need to have a high water capacity. If the rain occurs during the summer due to high evaporation rates or the soil evaporation, the catchment area will be having impermeable soils, okay, where the water cannot be easily infiltrated. So these are all some of the limitations of the micro catchment areas. So this is all about the topic, that is micro catchment systems as well as the percolation tanks.